I believe that oncology represents one of the greatest opportunities for people who want to build a meaningful career. I did not originally plan to work in cancer. My first roles in medical sales was selling pulmonary and cardiovascular devices to cardiologists, primary care, and also pulmonologists. That role taught me a lot about, the medical sales world, how to manage a territory, how to engage in different specialties, how to translate clinical value into everyday physician decisions. It was a good training ground. But over time, something inside me began to shift. Then I received the opportunity to join Foundation Medicine, owned by Roche. Foundation Medicine, a company that at the forefront of what became known as comprehensive genomic profiling. Soon, I was working at the intersection of leading science and real human need. Foundation Medicine did not simply just sell new tests. It challenged how oncologists understood cancer. So instead of treating every single patient the same, there was this whole move of precision medicine. Instead of treating every single tumor the same way with just broad chemotherapy, we could help doctors match a patient's tumor to a targeted therapy based on the specific mutations driving that cancer. At first, those tests required tumor tissue from surgery. Now, some still say that tissue is the gold standard. When I was there, I remember in 2020, we launched our liquid biopsy technology. We began offering blood-based genomic profiling that identified circulating tumor DNA. That shift opened access for many more patients and allowed clinicians to act on information that had never been available before. Cancer for me has never just been about the money or the numbers, the statistics. It's never been just about that. It's personal, and it might be personal for you too, someone that you love. My grandfather died of lung cancer when I was 3 years old. He was a smoker. He was a part of that generation, World War II veteran. But my last memory of him was being wheeled out of the house in the bed. He was hooked up to oxygen, and I watched him. Back then, there was very little hope. And almost every patient received essentially the same type of treatment in cancer. When I was talking to my wife, Michelle, she had a similar story. When she was just a little girl, 4 years of age, her mother, a non-smoker in her 40s, was diagnosed with lung cancer and quickly passed away. Michelle was the youngest of 5 children. Her oldest sister, Kia, 14 years older than her, was a senior in high school when her mom died. At that time, there were no targeted treatments for lung cancer. There were no genomic testing to show the specific mutations. There was just this kind of broad chemotherapy that a lot of people took. And by the time the cancer was discovered, for many of these patients, it was too late. So fast forward to today, to the time in oncology where I've had the opportunity to represent a therapy for non-small cell lung cancer in patients who have carried this EGFR mutation that shows up in non-smokers. Not long before, this type of cancer almost had no meaningful options, and now there's multiple options. New targeted treatments that begin to show overall survival. The addition of 4+ years. Think about that. As a pharmaceutical rep, I got to sell this treatment that added 4 more years. Think about that. 4 more holidays, 4 extra sets of birthdays, 4 extra years of watching grandchildren grow up. For families like Michelle's and mine, this is not just an abstract statistic. This is hope, where there used to be no hope. And even now, as a husband and a father, when the holidays approach, there are moments when these memories rush back, when the absence of grandparents and parents is felt. Those moments remind me the pain of cancer, it never fully disappears. But they also remind me of a miracle. When science can give people more time. That's what you get to be a part of when you join this program. When you join that pharmaceutical or genetic testing company in oncology, you are not just moving a product, you are helping create room for more years, more conversations, and more life.